is going on, folks? I hope everyone's doing just outstanding today. Hope everyone's just absolutely thrashing life by the fucking ball sack. And you're gripping it hard. Today, we're going to do what we always do, review content. I There's one really cool featured content that I want to look at, which is a Lamborghini boat. Never heard of that, so I want to check it out, see what that's all about. And then, of course, just more crazy stuff with Meta, Elon Musk, uh, Donald Trump. We seem to always get into economics, so maybe some of that steroid stuff, of course, if that's ever gonna be back on the agenda, because it seems like we always get our hands so deep in other things. But it is what it is. Before I get started, as you guys know, Discord group is down below in the links, and we also would like to mention that if you're a subscriber, I appreciate you, but if we could get more subscribers, that'd be great. So just keep sharing my videos, and hopefully we'll get to a point where 20K actually happens. We're at just about, I think, 17.2 right now. Let me look really quick. I think 17.2 as of this morning. I could be wrong on that. Why can't I just find the exact amount of subscribers? YouTube. 17.2. 17,223 subscribers to be exact. So we're on the up and up. It's a slow but good rise. What's up, Twisted Titanium? It's a slow but good rise. But needless to get each of these subscribers up, we need to get all of the soldiers invested in the mission. I'm thinking about doing like some kind of interesting giveaway eventually soon, but we'll see. We will see. Today we're gonna look at quite a few things, so buckle up, buttercups. We're gonna watch some fucking content. We're gonna watch some motherfucking content today, man. It's been a long week, dude. I don't know what y'all's week has been like, but man, it feels like this one has just been just rough. And there's absolutely no reason, right? It's not even nearly as difficult as other weeks have been. But man, this one has just been like, oh. It feels like I'm walking through a metaphorical fucking piece of honey. like I'm just knee deep in honey, just trying to get through the week right now. I don't know why either. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I feel like in another life, I'd be a really good alcoholic. I'd be like the best alcoholic, to be fair. Just because it is honestly, oof, man, it's just crazy how tricky things can get, you know? It's crazy. Like the complexity of life and relationships and money and jobs and other people's time, money, and all of it. Boy, it just gets deep, you know? But anyways, let's start with something a little more fun. There's actually a lot I wanted to talk about, but I never have enough time to talk about all the things that I want. So we're just going to say fuck it and start with the best that I wanted to look at personally, because I feel like that's when I provide the best kind of inserts from myself. And then we'll move on to other things that hopefully are more enjoyable. But as always, you guys can jump in whenever, make comments, make suggestions. Busy as fuck, cancer in foot. Oh, fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. Root canal to, oh, that's not awesome. Oh man, that is not awesome at all. Root canals suck, dude. Ugh. Oh my god. And at the gym knocking it out after all that shit, bro. That's tough, man. The root canal sucks, man. I'm so sorry. I was like, damn, you conquered cancer, you know? And then I read the fucking root canal. Eesh. Man, that is a painful ass job. All right, let me see if we're good on the. Okay. We're gonna bop right in to a wonderful video about a Lamborghini yacht. This is this is a YouTube channel. I'm just flexing my fame here. This is a YouTube channel called Yacht Buyer. That's just, I'm nowhere near this kind of level of money, but fuck it. You know, I figure we should learn about yachts today, if anything. Yo, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. I'm doing good. Just getting through a tough week, man. Just a fucking brutal week. All right, let's pop this bad boy open and see what we got. This is a Lamborghini. Again, channel is Yacht Buyer. Lamborghini tested the best Lamborghini yacht. It's faster than Conor McGregor's, damn it. The best Lamborghini yacht. All right. I know I'm butting in super early here, but I personally live 5 minutes from the ocean. I posted on my Instagram story today. It's beautiful, gorgeous. I I personally just would scratch my head at the I just don't have time to go to a boat and drive a boat around. I mean, who has time? I want to go do things on land, not on the water. But outside of like once a month or something like that, I don't know. These are just sort of needless things for me.
This is the Lamborghini boat, or the Technomar 63 by Lamborghini to give it its full name. But you've probably seen lots of clips of this on social.
Same as you, 5 minutes from the ocean, hardly ever go to the beach. Yeah. The whole time I was in Thailand, the whole time I was in the Thailand, the country of beaches, I went to the beach one time. One fucking time, dude. I don't get the infatuation with the ocean and the beach and shit. I'll pass, man. I will pass on it. Boat repairs and maintenance going to be $250K a year. Yeah. Even just docking boats, like here in Florida, dude, just docking a boat or just having it on like in a, I don't know what the technical term is, but when you have to like rent a space to keep your boat, it's like not just a couple, like, $50 a month. I think people kind of think that way. It's like several, sometimes thousands of dollars a month, depending on what dock it's on. It's like, so even if you have a broke bitch boat, you're still rich because you're already paying thousands of dollars on top of that just to park the damn thing, which is just crazy to me. Never ever would I want to have that. Yeah, marina, that's it.
Social media, you've probably seen Conor McGregor driving his with his shirt flying open. But what we haven't seen is what this 4,000 horsepower supercar of the sea is actually like to drive. And in this video, that's exactly what we're going to find out. And so are you. I'm Jack Haynes. Welcome to Yacht Buyer.
I guess I also don't understand the desire to go fast on the water. I get desire to go fast on land. It's great. My car goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. It's a blast. But going fast in water, it's kind of like, like, does it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just excited.
Now, if you want to experience what this boat is like, you can charter it in the south of France, and I'll put a link to the website in the description to this video. This is a great time to subscribe to the Yacht Buyer channel if you want to see more reviews of boats like this where we take them out to sea and see what they can do. Subscribe now, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you'll never miss another one. What a place to be able to begin the tour of a yacht. And would you look at that ladder? It's a beautiful piece of engineering, part carbon fibre, drops down into the sea as you can see it now, but also acts as your passerelle when you're in port and then folds away into the deck completely when you're not using it. And two things strike you when you first get on
If it floats, flies, or fucks, rent it.
board this boat. First of all, it's much bigger
That's a
in the
really
flesh
good
than it
rule,
looks in
actually.
the renderings and all the clips we've seen on social media. And of course, that glorious Lamborghini-esque detailing. Things like this beautiful lighting down here that apes the Aventador road car. We're going to come on to the lighting later on in the video. Even the fact this fare lead looks like a pair of Lamborghini exhausts. And of course, the 63 moniker all over the boat. And we'll come on to the significance of that number later on. But there's good boaty stuff as well.
This boat better have a second floor. It's such a... You get all this boat, but like the real estate looks quite small to me in terms of what you can actually do on it. Like it looks like there's 2 seats up there and then this couch back here, which no one could certainly be sitting on while you're driving it because they would just fucking fly off. If we're paying this much for a Lamborghini boat, I would hope I can at least have like 6 people on there.
As well, the fact that you have a decent carbon fiber shower here. This slots into the deck so you can come out of the water and have a proper shower, not just a deck wash. Underneath this massive sun pad, there be engines, and they are serious engines, so do hold on to see me lifting the lid and starting them up. But of course, it's a massive sunbathing space too. It does get a little warm, as does the deck, because of the colour of the upholstery, but they have got a shade they can put up to cover this area in shade on a hot day like this. And here we've got some beautiful detail. You've got carbon fibre lockers here on either side, these beautiful boarding gates as well, again, all carbon fibre, and a pair of sea bobs that you can drop into the water as soon as the boat is on anchor. Let's have a close look at the dinette. This is actually a very impressive area. It's a lot more practical than you might think.
It just, I guess, I'm so confused with this. It's like, I get having money and wanting nice things, but at a certain point, the niceness is just a paint of coat, you know, it's a coat of paint. It's not like this crazy spectacular set of features that make the thing completely different than the boat sitting right over there to the left of him. You know, it's like kind of the same thing. It just has carbon fiber everywhere, and that's supposed to increase the value, and it has quite a few more horsepower, which I guess is great. It's just, what now? You know, like you can only go so fast on the water, to be honest. You can't go absolutely capsize itself unless you have a boat that's actually truly designed to go that fast in water. This is pure show off mode. Yeah. I really just, like, for me, practicality wise, I would now be more worried about damaging the boat and its wear and tear versus just enjoying the boat. And maybe that's just a broke guy mentality. I'm a beta dude, but that's how I consider it, I guess. Fucking me. The Titanic sub showed us carbon fiber cracks. So yeah, these fuckers don't even know what they're doing.
By looking at
that's the thing too. Carbon fiber, everyone always kind of you know, hypes it up and it's cool looking. It's just, it's very fragile. It's brittle. It's like very brittle. So I would imagine that you get a couple drunk people on the boat and someone falls over, it's done. That gate's being fucking ripped off right away.
This boat, the walkways around both sides are really wide. You're well protected. Yes, it's open, but you've got these nice screens here to give you a bit of protection, both when you're moving around, but also from the wind. And then look at the size of this area too. Huge table, loads of seating on either side. Perfect if guests need room to dine, and this table adjusts as well at the touch of a button, so you can drop down if you want to put your feet on it and recline, or you can rise it up into this position if you do want to use it to eat at. And this has got the cover of the part carbon fibre, part composite hardtop, which has got glass in it as well, so there's plenty of natural light coming into this area. And again, these little hints of Lamborghini detailing are just littered all over the place. Here we've got these vents on both sides which look really, really good. Let's head to the helm. The carbon fibre detailing is extensive and exquisite. Even these handholds here are part leather, part carbon fibre top for the sink, and I love this detail. How cool is this? This is the door handle from a Lamborghini road car. You've got them on both sides, but this doesn't open the door. It opens the cover to the ice maker and the fridge on the other side. I really like the design of the hardtop too. This amazing white.
Does this sound good for everyone? It's good on my side, but someone said it's cutting out.
Shape looks fantastic, and obviously provides crucial support to the hardtop, which is connected to this massive one-piece windscreen forward. And we talked about the significance of the 63. Well, this is an important boat within the 63 range, because this is the first one off the line. Hull number 1 is the only one with a carbon fibre hull, so it should be the fastest. We will find out later on in the video. And the 63 is significant. They're only building 63 of them. Lamborghini was founded in 1963, and it will do 63 knots. It should do anyway. We're going to find out. More glorious detailing when it comes to the seating. This is beautiful. Again, the carbon fibre work is just stunning. Lamborghini bull etched into the back of the seats. You've got the straps as well, so you can properly strap into these seats if you're charging along flat out. And of course, all of the glorious Lamborghini touch points at the helm station, which I'm going to talk
It's
about more.
literally, it just looks like a car in the boat. If I'm driving a boat, I want it to be a boat. Like if I got in an airplane and it looked like a car, I'd feel like I wasn't flying an airplane. I'd feel a little disappointed.
When we fire it up. For now, let's head forward and check out the bow. Even moving right forward is still relatively easy. The decks are slightly narrower, but they're still good and deep. There's another lovely handhold here, and I like this detail. The Lamborghini badge again down here behind the windscreen frame, plus the Technomar
More
logo,
carbon
all
fiber.
backed by carbon fiber. Looks lovely. We've got pop-up cleats here, and from this position, you can just get the scale of this incredible one-piece windscreen. And I like the way that they've got these fins down either side as well. So you should be well protected, but there's still going to be plenty of air getting into that area. It doesn't feel too enclosed on a warm day. And then quite clearly, right forward, all we've got, pure sunbathing space. That aside, there is a big anchor locker as well for a bit of storage. They haven't forgotten all the practicalities. You can see the bolts here to put the fenders in. It's very clean, there's no railings, but by God, does it look good. And what you have all day is people doing that. Right, let's go inside.
Oh, inside. Okay, there is an interior. Thank God. I was going to be like, if this whole boat is just that surface, I would be so disappointed in the money spent. Now we can get a
Of
little
course,
bit
Lamborghini
more
doesn't know the
acquainted.
first thing about building boats, so they left that job to a company that does. The Italian C Group, who owns Technomar, who builds this. They also own Admiral, who built the likes of Kensho and lots of other lovely big super yachts. So there's no lack of boat building knowledge on that front. And that shows down here. It's much more spacious and practical than you might imagine. And that starts with the galley. I mean, it is quite dark in this area. Not so bad in the cabins, but this area is a little bit starved of natural light. However, behind all these fascias, there's some good galley stuff going on. We've got storage, we've got a fridge, there's a cooktop here, a microwave up there, a nice big sink, more storage up here, and some lovely
I think it looks good. That's
detailing.
looks pretty sweet, honestly. Like this looks very, the interior looks very like cyberpunky, and I kind of fuck with it a lot, to be honest.
Again, the handhold on the staircase, for example, this stitching that runs all the way around the interior. And if I pop this open, this is quite smart. You think this boat does 60 knots. What are you going to do with all the glassware and crockery? Well, put magnets in the bottom so that when you store them, they clip down to the platform and they don't move anywhere. Clever stuff. This is the gas cabin. Of course, there are Lamborghini references all over the place in here as well, from the shape of the windows to the shape of the storage areas either side of the bed, which have got sockets in them, the bed spreads, the Lamborghini name on the drawers underneath the bed, and even the speakers above my head. It's everywhere, but it does look great. And again, the practicalities are surprising. There's a big storage area behind this door here, which leads through to the shared heads. This is a somewhat hidden wardrobe as well, but again, you've got hanging space there, space for shoes. They've even got a Hoover in there.
This looks cozy. I won't even lie. Like this looks, this looks like a,
well,
it looks like a 12-year-old's room, but it looks cozy.
and the space is pretty good as well. Plenty of space above my head at 6 foot tall. 2 single beds, but a good amount of room to walk between them. And as I said,
Just think, one crypto coin, boys, one crypto rug pull. This is ours. We're partying on a fucking Lamborghini yacht.
a very large, albeit shared, bathroom between this and the owner's cabin.
We talked about it last live. Trend coin, it's gonna blow up. It is going to blow up.
There is only one bathroom on board, but at least it's a really good size, and we have our carbon fibre toilet.
I'm gonna buy a boat soon. Perfect. We're on Yacht Buyer. We're on the channel Yacht Buyer right now. We're reviewing 1 in 64 Lamborghini yachts. You could be one of those 64 owners.
Which is a must-have on any superboat. Lamborghini reference even in the shape of the sink, and this motif up here, and we've even got the little 63 on the towel pegs too. Very large shower cubicle though. In fact, headroom is great throughout this space.
Wow.
And if I open this door, we lead directly forward to the owner's cabin.
This looks better than a Lamborghini car. Like, this interior is insane.
Up here, Natural light improves significantly. We've got much bigger hull windows on either side,
Whoa.
and even the shield-shaped skylight to bring some natural light down onto the bed here. That has got a cover as well, so you can shade it off and have some privacy if you want to. But again, I am impressed by the amount of space. It's a very nice, easy cabin to walk around. You've got a decent-sized bed down here, space for electronics on either side. Both cabins have got flat-screen televisions too. Beautiful soft carpet under feet. It doesn't have quite as much storage, in fact, as the guest cabin, but
Trend coin is real. Fuck, man. That's bad for us because it means it's already been made. Let's pump. We could all pump it right now. We could all simultaneously make social media posts about it saying it's going to make people a millionaire. Why don't crypto? That's weird. You could buy your drugs with Trend coin. That'd be a great idea. We could make a new coin for buy into a coin where you pitched it to be the coin for hold on, let me pull this up on WhatsApp really quick. You could pitch it for the coin for like drug purchases, right? Like specifically the what the fuck am I trying to talk about here? Hold on, sorry. You could pitch it for the steroid purchases that you do online, and that would go so hard. Trend coin, it's not doing so great. There's a big supply of these. They thought it was going to go hard. It's doing. I mean, its evaluation is 109,000. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not millions of dollars, but it's you know, it's up there. There's movement. People are buying it. That's probably the 24-hour trading volume is probably Seth just buying into it, to be honest. Someone beat us to it. Here's what I think. Here's what we should do. We should make a coin collectively that is called the Gearbusters or something like this. And it is the coin you use to make transactions for steroids without any fees. So we limit the fees, but us as a collective, we take 80% hold of the market. And so the inflated price goes sky high, and then everyone buys the 20% to buy all their gear, and they have to do it because we'll make deals with all the gear suppliers. And then, boys, we rug pull the 80%. We just pull that shit and run off with it. At least $1 million. Split into however many of us are here. So maybe not that much money, but more money than I have now. It's a good idea.
But there is a hanging wardrobe on the way in down there. But I think the entire summation of this lower deck is it comes as a welcome surprise. Yes, this is a big, fast day boat, but if you do want to stay on board, it's pretty comfortable as well. Now, I know what you've been waiting for. We want to go and have a look at that engine room. Before we get to the engine room, I'm sure you're wondering where the crew sleep. So let's head to their accommodation.
Gear gold. That's gear coin. There's so many names you could do. Anabolic currency coin, ACC, that'd be pretty cool. Anabolic currency coin, Trenbolone trading coin, Trenbolone trading coin, gear trading coin. There's a lot of fun names you could come up with there. That would work, I feel like, if you were able to lower transaction fees so that because you know when you buy gear right now, everyone's going to buy cryptocurrency and you're going to have transaction fees for Bitcoin because that's how it makes money, right? What if you took the Bitcoin transaction fees and nuked them so that you got a basically free transaction outside of the broker that you're using to buy the coin? I don't know. And then everyone's pushed to that one by basically no choice. We own the market.
Access to the crew cabin is through this hatch in the deck here.
There's a crew cabin?
Well, this is the crew accommodation on board the Lamborghini boat, and
What?
as you might expect on a boat of this style and size, it isn't huge. And speaking to the crew who run this boat, generally they are doing day charters. They don't spend much time down here, the odd night. And when they do, they've got a pair of bunks, they've got some storage over here, a little bit more opposite the ladder on the way down, and through this door here, there's a separate wet room. It's not huge, I'll show you by standing up. But it's the space you've got, and as I said, it's pretty sparingly used.
That's pretty cozy down
Let's
there.
go and look at those engines. That, viewers, is what 4,000 horsepower looks like. Let's get amongst them. I really wanted to get down into this space to show you both the scale of the engines themselves, but also the engine room. We've just seen the size of the interior. Despite that, you've still got this vast machinery space down here, obviously with the
That's
engines, the
insane.
generator. If you had the optional seakeeper, that would be down here as well. And you may well ask, well, it's a Lamborghini boat, why is it not using Lamborghini engines? Well, frankly, Lamborghini cars don't have powerful enough engines to get the sort of performance that this boat wants to do. 1,000 horsepower, fine to push a car through air, not to shove something like this through the water. So these MAN V12s, 12 cylinders each, 2,000 horsepower each, 6,500 Newton meters of torque, 24 litres as well. They are absolutely monstrous, and I think that's enough talking. We should fire them up and see what they can do.
Oh, sorry. I was like so emphasized in the encapsulated by the engines.
To get.
So yeah, the engine room looks pretty cool. They have pretty neat looking engines. It's looking great. I was just sort of shocked at how big they were. And then I was going to make the keen comment, well, like if a Koenigsegg can have 1,200 horsepower, why do these have to have, you know, these massive engines? But then he pointed out that each engine produces 2,000 horsepower. So it makes a little bit more sense to understand that now.
100 Newton meters of torque, 24 litres as well. They are absolutely monstrous. And I think that's
this has to be so rambunctiously loud. Like, I would be so surprised if it was quiet.
enough talking. We should fire them up and see what they can do. Let me run you through the startup procedure on this boat then. First of all, you plug yourself into this fantastic figure-hugging seat and slide yourself right forward so you're really close to the wheel, and then we have these brilliant Lambo car style rocket launcher switches. One engine this side, one engine this side, and that is 4,000 horsepower ready to go. Well, this feels like quite a moment. We've been driving this boat for a long time, and I'm a car man as much as I'm a boat man, so testing something that spans both those fields is really quite exciting, especially with the Lamborghini Bull staring at me. I'm plugged into this amazing seat. I've got the Lamborghini-esque screens in front of me, and the knowledge that there's 4,000 horsepower underneath these throttles. So let's get up to speed and see what it's like, shall we?
Most people are probably going to obliterate one of these, to be honest with you. Most people, I know idiots who have broken pontoon boats because they are just unwillingly able to control them. I can't imagine. Hey, greetings from Florida, man. I hope you're doing well. I can't imagine 4,000 horsepower and just giving this to somebody like with a general boating license. That's crazy.
First thing, into gear. And there's always a good bit of welly with surface drives. When you go into gear, you're doing about 10 knots, even in dead slow ahead. You can then sync the throttles, so I'm only thinking about one throttle, which is nice. You cannot adjust the drives on this boat. This particular one, it's only got tabs. They stay right down until you're up to about 40 knots. So the only thing we have to do is feed in the power and see what happens. Slowly feeding that power in, there's a bit of resonance. There's all of that torque and that force comes through those twin shafts, and now we're starting to pick up speed. Oh my god, it sounds like a jet engine back there. And here comes that massive wave of torque. 20 knots. 25 knots. Those engines are something mighty.
Just full
1700
throttle,
RPM,
bro.
we are now at 30 knots. Good God. It's weird, the engines are quite visceral. There's no sense of speed though, because you're so well protected from the wind. That's 36 knots. 38 knots.
Man, that would be insane.
It actually feels remarkably refined given how lumpy it is out here. 40 knots is where you lift up the tabs to try and get some air beneath the hull, but we don't want to be travelling much more than 40 knots today, but I will just bring the tabs up a touch. My God, wow. This feels remarkably stable. It is, I mean, there's probably 1.5, maybe 2 meters at times here. Just drop the tabs up a little bit. That is now cruising at 40 knots, where we're consuming 400 litres an hour. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera very much, so I really need to concentrate. 400 litres an hour, but you still get
400 liters of gasoline an hour. That's nuts, man.
300 nautical miles out of it. You really sense those engines being there. My God, they just...
We're watching a overly obtuse display of wealth.
Sound moody underneath the deck.
Because we're all gooners and we'll never be able to afford anything like this. That's why.
But this is not a boat that you just sort of settle back and let it do the work. You have to drive it. You have to think about it. I'm going to put the tabs down again. I'm going to slow down a touch here. Cruising speed is 35 knots. And that feels sensible today because much more than that is, it's just downright uncomfortable. It is lumpy, but goodness me, there's a lot of power on tap. The sensation from behind the wheel.
The hull is carbon fiber. I feel like that would be extremely bad if you hit a wave hard enough.
It's amazing. I love the driving position. The wheel feels fantastic. It's hydraulic steering, it's quite heavy, but actually the more power you feed in, the more responsive it becomes. The view's great as well. I know I've had to play with the tabs post 40 knots, but below that, it actually has a lovely running attitude. What's going on behind me? Yeah, we're not really dipping the pace to get full rooster tail, but there are some big waves out here. I need to take it easy.
Taking it easy is for losers.
I'm actually quite surprised that we're managing to achieve these speeds even through this. But the noise when you add some throttle, all 24 cylinders giving the beams, it is absolutely like nothing I've ever driven before. It's amazing.
So you don't only have to buy the thing, you have to pay for 500 liters an hour, and then you also have to pay a crew, a 2-man crew, to man the boat. And I mean, that's just insane to me, man. Like, at what point is it kind of just like unnecessary? You know, I don't know.
The mind boggles a little bit in that experience. It unfortunately wasn't peak conditions to try and get the best of its performance, but the most overwhelming feeling is that it's a very analog experience. This is not a boat where you have trim assist and you just set the throttles and the boat works everything else for you. You have to work to make this thing perform, and it's very rewarding when it works. You get out to 40 knots, you sort of wrestle it up to that speed, it's over the hump, you're traveling along, and then 40 knots you need to start playing with the tabs to get even more performance out of it. You've also got the control down here where you can switch between docking, cruise and Corsa. Only in Corsa the engines give you, the full amount of power, very much like the Lamborghini road cars. It is completely intoxicating. And the awesome power of those engines,
I wonder how big the gas tank is. 100 gallons an hour. Yeah, that's my thought, right? I don't know if the fuel that boats use is any different. Maybe it's not. But that's like, we're talking like thousands of dollars in fuel for a day of driving.
Out of the water, when they're up and running, thumping along, that torque is pushing you forward. It is really unlike anything else I've ever driven. There's a risk that you approach a boat like this where there's so much hype, you've seen so much, you've heard so much, that it may disappoint. And even in far from ideal driving conditions, it still stands out as one of the most remarkable driving experiences I can remember. So it's not just the Lamborghini badge, it's got that Lamborghini essence as well. But before we wrap up, something I really want to show you is what this thing looks like at night. So Let's get to night mode.
So it has 6 LED strips. Great.
We're back in Cannes with the thumping music in the background, and I can safely say,
Yeah, I mean, it's great and all. I'd probably never buy one. $1.5 million for Yacht, $2.5 million for the name. That's a very real $4 million for something you can get a lot better than that. Probably an absolute dream to ride on a calm glass morning. Any chop at all just turns into a white-knuckled carnival ride. Yeah. I would imagine the efficaciousness of having that much power severely diminishes if it's not a perfect day. Aside from the name, I don't see $4 million. Yeah, I'd agree with these people. I wonder if he traps women on it. There's a high likelihood. I would imagine that that happens at least on several variants of this yacht. At least. Should we keep watching rich people things, or do you want to go to other things? You guys tell me what you want to do. There's a Bugatti video that just popped up that looks pretty interesting. New 1800 horsepower Bugatti unveiled. But there's also a couple different videos on what is a board of directors and the suspicious rebranding of Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, he will have one on lease right away. Right away. I don't know. He doesn't really have anyone to bring on it now, though, because Gabby broke up with him. She's back on posting on the escort websites now, unfortunately. Other things, you don't want to see the Bugatti video? Fair enough. I'm just rich as hell, you know? I got the chains on. Each one of these is $140,000, so it's not like a Bugatti's any different to me, you know? Just thought we'd check it out. Remember, I promised you guys I'd get you all Bugattis at the end of all this, so fine. If you don't want to see the Bugatti, that's whatever. It's fine by me. I was actually really interested in this video because I don't honestly know the answer to this question. I have a general vague idea. This channel is how money works, and it's what the fuck does the board of directors actually do? And we always hear about board of directors. We always hear of what they could do or what they're responsible for or something, but like we don't actually know. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Let's find out.
To kick off the new year, Mark Zuckerberg, a man who is definitely not having a midlife crisis, announced that Dana White...
He's definitely having a midlife crisis. I think enough people made fun of him for being a robot that he took it way too seriously.
The president and CEO of the Ultimate Fighting Championship had been elected to Meta's board of directors. The decision...
I didn't know that. So Dana White is now the director in the board of directors for Meta. That is extremely interesting. There's nothing, you know... There's no benefit or insider information there at all. That's not sketchy.
The decision was met with some mixed reactions from company employees and stakeholders. But what most people don't realize is that this decision is really not that unusual. The board of the embattled Boeing Corporation recently appointed Mortimer J. Buckley, the former CEO of the Vanguard Group, who also serves on the board of Pfizer, alongside James Quincy, the CEO of the Coca-Cola Company, who also serves on its board.
That just seems sketchy. That you can be involved deep in so many different companies as the CEO of a major company, talking to other CEOs of major companies. I mean, you could literally fabricate the entire existence of a human being by just rubbing shoulders with the guy to your right. Hey, man, if we pop this study out that says sugar is really bad, I'll rub shoulders with Pfizer, and then they'll also pump out something that says these SGLT2 inhibitors waste sugar. And then I'll rub shoulders with James Quincy, who is the CEO of Coca-Cola, so that he can pump the marketing for diet soda at the same time, and we'll run house on this bitch. Like, that's really what this is.
Board alongside Bella Bahara, the chief content officer of Netflix, who serves under a board which includes Anne Sweeney, the former chairman of the FX networks, who worked under Tony Vinciquerra, the chairman of the Fox Networks Group, who currently serves on the board of Qualcomm, a company formerly managed by Steven Mollenkopf, who currently sits on the board of directors of Boeing. It's a great big club, and you ain't in it. But what the f do these people actually do?
On Monday, Meta founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that UFC president Dana White will be joining his company's board of directors.
January, he tapped Dana White for a Meta board spot and is now ending this fact-checking.
Metro Health Board of Trustees terminated Dr. Boutros yesterday.
First of all, I think the ending of fact-checking is the most brilliant idea ever, because it's never going to work anyways when you have a extremist group, like extremist ideological freaks making the facts and narrating the facts. It's just irrelevant. You can never have a group of people that have a political bias be fact checkers, because they're never going to even fact checked in a way that is not biased. Like, them going on internet and searching is going to require the exertion of their bias. Like, it's just a stupid idea. It's never going to work.
Yesterday, effective immediately.
Before you can understand what modern boards of directors actually do, you should first understand what they are supposed to do. If you get appointed to the board of directors of a major company, it is not a full-time job. If everything is running smoothly, you might only need to show up for a monthly or quarterly board meeting where you will receive a presentation on how the company is going from the management team. Normally, this presentation is given by the CEO. But they can also bring in other executives if they are talking to the board about a particular area of interest in the company.
What is she doing? She's just drawing. Why is everyone looking at her drawing a triangle? That is the fucking. This is the dumbest B-roll I've ever seen in my entire life. She's, look at how everyone's just like looking over as if she's doing something revolutionary, or they just have like some random Excel document up in the background. It's crazy.
If, as a random example, the company wanted to invest $46 billion into an augmented reality social platform, the CEO might bring in their technology officer and the chief financial officer to talk about the viability of that project. The role of the board is to provide advice, or in extreme cases, veto the ideas of company leadership, which hopefully acts in the interest of the shareholders who they represent. The CEO doesn't need to listen to them, but the board has the power to fire them, so if they want to keep their high-paying job, they normally try their very best to keep them happy. The board also oversees executive compensation. CEOs and shareholders are not always necessarily aligned on objectives. If you are a CEO...
Yeah, it's also funny. This is just a side tangent, and it pisses me off so much. Elon, like, all these people are so upset about Elon, and like on Tesla subreddits or Tesla forums right now, it's like everyone's like, I got to get rid of my Tesla. I don't want to drive the swastika car. And it's like, dude, do you realize like Elon doesn't really even play a role in Tesla? He didn't even really play a role in the development of Tesla. He didn't invent the Tesla. He just literally observes the business operating. Like, that's all he does. It's so crazy to me fundamentally how people just, but here's the thing. If it's any other CEO, and they do something horrible, you know, the fucking people are still going to use whatever product they're using from them. You know, the pink-haired lady lighting the Bath and Body Works candles every night doesn't think about what that CEO is doing or saying online. But suddenly, you know, Elon Musk is now the guy that everyone considers to be the word bearer and the one that needs to be, his business is just, first of all, it's not even his fucking business. It's just crazy. People are ludicrous, man. Side tangent, but people care so much about what these people are doing, and they don't even understand how what they are doing fundamentally works.
For a CEO, your number one priority is to make as much money as you can while you have your job, by A, not getting fired, and B, securing the biggest pay packet possible. This can mean that CEOs often prioritize short-term wins over long-term business stability, because it doesn't matter if
true. You see this a lot in business with video games, because a lot of these CEOs will literally pump the video game in a public display and say, well, we're going to do really great because we're making this video game for a modern audience. And that might, in a short-term sense, make everything seem really good because, well, if we can make the game more, generally acceptable to everybody, then we're going to make more money. But at the end of it all, what you get is a game that doesn't make any money, because a game made for everybody is a game made for nobody. And so you might get a lot of pre-order sales, but then, the guy collects his paycheck as a CEO because he made these shitty decisions. And it turns out, well, the game is shit and it has a lot of these weird ideologies in it. And now we're going to refund the game. And guess what happens to the CEO? He gets fired, but he gets a golden umbrella to ride all the way down on. So I don't know. It's just like these shitty, it's a really odd infrastructure that we use that's repeated and rehashed over and over again. And it's clear that it's fundamentally flawed in a lot of ways.
If the share price is great in 10 years' time if they get fired for a year of poor stock performance. The board of directors is supposed to add a level of human intelligence and long-term thinking to business.
Yeah, it's literally Concord, right? And that team got like thrashed as soon as that happened. But in most cases, that game would have sold, people would have bought it, and then later on, the funds would have been, evaluated as like, oh shit, we had a lot of refunds. And I think, it's just a really interesting situation, honestly. Like, you have to realize, like, in video games, in Marvel, for instance, the new Black America came out, and like, what the fuck is that movie, dude? I liked Falcon. Like, he should have just stayed Falcon, but when we lost Captain America, we also lost him. Now he's Captain America. He's a black dude trying to preach ideologies. I just don't care. Like, I don't want that in my superhero movie. A black guy can be strong and powerful. I don't care. But don't like try to twist this and now make Captain America a black guy and then make the whole role about ideologies. And like, this isn't what people want to watch, man. They want to watch a fucking superhero movie with a guy kicking ass and awesome CGI. And it's like, we failed to even do that. I don't know who CEOs are even talking to get the idea that this is a good idea. Like, no one's talking to them to be like, you know what we should do? Let's just race swap Captain America and we'll just talk about how awful white people are. Oh, great. This sounds like a beautiful idea. Okay. It's going to make us lots of money, obviously, because everybody hates white people, of course. It's just, 90% of our demographic is white males or something like that. It shouldn't matter. Okay.
Business management and call out CEOs that are just gaming the system to enrich themselves. Now, the other thing is, if you are a company director, you don't technically need to do any of this. You don't even really need to show up to the once a quarter meetings. There is nobody who sits above you in the corporate hierarchy, so there is nobody to fire you. To sweeten the deal, compensation for serving on the board of large public companies can be extremely generous.
Dana White has a pretty proven track record of making solid business decisions related to building the UFC. He's a snake, but I trust him. Yeah, I think most of these people, like, you can trust them to build infrastructure. And that's probably the most important part. Like, here's the thing that I think a lot of people also don't realize. Like, if you took me and you said, all right, Kolton, start from zero, it would still take me a ton of time to build a reputation online, to get a base of clients, to do all the things that I've done. But I bet your ass I could do it in a quarter of the time it took me to get to where I am now, because I already have all that information. So when you pull somebody in who's managed such large systems like that, they can see from a level starting from the ground up that is unlike anybody else coming into that situation. Like, when you've managed people, when you've ran a company that's hundreds of people big, you have skills that do require experience, and those matter. And I think it's like, like, I would say he's probably a great businessman. Is he the, least sketchy person in a room? Probably not, but he probably makes money. He probably prints that shit, to be honest.
Generous. According to company filings, in the fiscal year 2023, the directors of Meta were paid between $397,000 and $4.2 million in equity, cash, and travel reimbursements. This can be especially...
Who paid that lady $4.2 million? That is, like, ludicrous to do something like that. For like, what are they doing that's actually worth $4.2 million? Like, what in the fuck are they actually doing? Like, you put a random Joe up there and I bet he would do a better job, genuinely.
Especially lucrative.
You know how to manage a Google Sheets? document, an Excel document? Great. Okay. You know how to run a meeting? Sure. Okay. Do you know what the general populace wants with a social media app? Probably more than that lady does.
If you work your way onto multiple boards like
Unrelated question, have you ever coached strongman athletes? Absolutely. Lots of them, actually.
Alex Skorsky or Deborah Reed, who sit on 4 public boards each, including some of the world's most valuable companies. This practice actually used to be much worse up until a few years ago, but more on why that changed a bit later. It's not a bad gig if you can get it. So if you're thinking that showing up to a meeting a few times a year for 6 or 7 figures sounds like a good deal to you, here is how you land to just be paying themselves their own money back anyway, which doesn't really make much sense. But there are some real benefits to sitting on the board. As a member of the board, they will be privy to company information that isn't shared with regular investors, and more importantly, they can fire the CEO if they feel like they are not doing a good job. If you ever find yourself raising venture capital for a new startup, you should know that you can be fired from your own company if you give away enough board seats by selling away too much ownership in your business. You can write rules into the company bylaws to prevent this, but then you might find it much harder to raise capital from investors who want to keep the big red button option. Of course, VC firms really don't want to do this, because if you still own a majority of the company, you can make life difficult for them to get a return on their investment in other ways. But having checks and balances on power is always a good thing, even in tiny little startups. So unless you already have millions of dollars to invest, or you're really interested in some new technology or nonprofit initiative, you are probably going to prefer being a board member of a public company instead. Once a company goes public, there are a lot of rules about how a board is elected, and shareholders must be able to vote on representation. So in theory, a company's board of directors should act like elected representatives who always act in the best interest of their constituents, right? Well, it's time to learn how money works to find out how modern boardrooms actually work. This week's video is sponsored by Ground News.
It's really interesting. I learned a lot about this from actually researching the Manions, which I still have not finished that script, you guys. But the Jim Manion and like the General Manions are like, that situation is insane. And I have like so much understanding of how like board meetings work and how general investments in companies work and how they can really cycle money through a system. Like, it's pretty nuts. But it is interesting to me that you basically, you know, there's like these companies, for example, like Ubisoft. There's a company called Tencent, which is a Chinese company, and they're looking to snipe Ubisoft at a low cost. They have people in the company that they're likely paying to make the company lesser in value by putting out a worse product. Essentially what they're doing is like trying to devalue Ubisoft so they can come in, snipe the company, grab as many shares as possible, fire the CEO, plant a CEO that they want, and then run the company to boost the income and flip it, essentially, like revert the company back to a profit-making model and then sell it again. And it's really interesting, like the sort of almost like mafia style of transactional relationships that develop at this level. It's very interesting. It was the board of directors of the WWE that kept it going for so long. Yeah. Well, and these are the people that like, they have to, right? Because their investments are the company. And so their best interest is to get the company to succeed. It's just such an interesting concept, right? Like, you have to get the company to succeed. But oftentimes, like, there's short-term things that like you could swing, right? So if a company is evaluating poorly, you could make a short-term decision that would boost its evaluation, but further damage the company's evaluation in the future. But before that happens, and that, you know, valuation goes up, but the stock price goes up, so your share goes way up, you know, multi-millions, multi-billions in some cases, you pop the cherry, leave, and now you cash out, and the company fails like a year later because you made a short-term decision that fucked it. You know, similar to how like Jaguar made the gay ad recently, and it's like it just lost like so many investors overnight. Like the company literally sank. It's like leading up to that, there was somebody behind the scenes who was making decisions, probably for some reasons similar to that. Who knows though? Who knows?
Your support. According to company filings compiled by Fortune magazine, the average age of an S&P 500 board member is 63.1 years old. That's the average. So for every Mark Zuckerberg who is only 40 years old, there's an 86-year-old holding
Mark is 40 years old? Bro looks younger than me. Oh my God, I'm old.
their board seat like it's a Senate
Jesus.
seat. Anyway, the real job of most board members in modern companies is to be a contact network between regulators, politicians, and other business leaders. The reason that board directors tend to be so old is because these roles are often just given to people who have already had long and prestigious careers in business or government and have built up a long list of friends in high places. Dana White may genuinely be a very talented businessman, and there is actually a surprising amount of overlap between the mindless hand-to-hand combat that takes place on Facebook and the UFC. But the real reason he was elected to the board is not so subtly because he is close friends with the newly elected president. Trump's administration has made it very well known that they are going to be more business-friendly and slow down all the actions of the SEC and the FTC.
Which, by the way, I'm very excited for. Okay? By the way, I'm very excited for. It's going to be a great time, man. Great 4 years to own a business.
Let it grow. We're going to let it grow. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
But that's all with the exception of just two businesses, Alphabet and Meta. Hating the biggest, most invasive tech companies might very well be the one thing that unites America. Getting Dana White on the board means that Meta has a friendly connection to the White House. Now, the same could have been achieved with a much less high-profile board nomination. Dana is not the only person with friendly ties to the incoming administration. But outside of Elon Musk, who has his own social media company, he's probably the most famous person that could reasonably fill this role. The reason that you are hearing about this appointment is because the company wants you to hear about it. It's a marketing play to signal that the company is not some soy cap-sipping California hive mind. Modern boards really act as a contact network and marketing display to other institutions.
That's the whole push. It's why, so it's all perfectly timed, and I guarantee, I promise you, Donald Trump was talking to Mark before any of this happened. And before, that was before, Mark kind of reverted his content policy on fact checking. It's before he reverted the policy on censorship on the platforms, allowing you to say things like retard and you're gay and things like that on the platform. It's before all of that they started talking, and then you started to see Mark turn into this red pill dude who's training jujitsu. He's wearing street clothing with graphics that are really sick. He's growing his hair out. He stops putting on a suit. He's wearing sneakers instead of fucking shiny leather shoes. Driving sports cars, hanging out with really young women. He changes his external appearance. And then not only that, but they also, hire this guy or put him on the board. And it's very clear, the idea is to be more conservative as a company, because as the election showed, as much as people online would not like you to believe it, the majority of our modern America is conservative. Thanks for the past, 6 years of hell causing that to happen. But it is a fun fact to see that it's basically a change in times, and Meta is just being smart and trying to follow suit, unlike other companies. You have Twitter, formerly Twitter, now known as X, do the same thing, did it earlier. So they've done it. You have Facebook, Meta, or Facebook, Instagram, Threads that have done it. And now really what is left? Reddit. And now the government is, basically saying that Reddit is conspiratorial, and they're thinking about shutting it down, which there's probably a lot of truth to that from the evidence that they have. So very interesting, man. Super interesting thing.
And government agencies. Some of the most popular jobs for retired senior government personnel is to sit on the board of directors. That is because it's a pretty low-intensity retirement gig that pays them very well, and their lifetime of building contacts through their career is a pretty big asset to their company. Another perk for certain companies is it gives them a level of credibility in their business functions. Military supply companies, including Boeing from earlier, normally have one or two retired high-ranking military personnel on their board to signal that they listen directly to the armed forces. The final reason that modern boards have become so cozy is something you're not really.
That's so true as well. Every general that I was fortunate enough to meet in the military, which wasn't many, I think it was 3, they all were placed as or even like brigade. So even like colonels and the, upper echelon officers were always placed as either CEOs of companies or on the board of companies. And it's very interesting how that happens.
Really allowed to say out loud. If companies have a long history of electing former government officials to their board, then current government officials might try to get a little bit more cozy with them to secure a nice post-retirement gig for themselves. So yeah, if you want to get elected to the board of directors, you really need to start filling out a contact list of anybody and everybody that could make or break a company. If you want to go the private route, you should work in audit or a big consulting firm, or work in a government authority like the SEC or the FTC. And don't be like Lena Khan and, actually do your job a little bit too well. The board is supposed to represent the best interest of shareholders, but it's becoming harder and harder to determine what that actually means. The largest shareholders in most public companies are almost always Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, large asset managers that build index funds on behalf of other investors or institutions.
BlackRock is crazy, man. If you guys have the time, you need to look into BlackRock and like what they actually purchase, because it is insane. The degree of things that they truly purchase, and housing, land. I'm surprised it's allowed because they own so much. Most infrastructure you see in a city is somewhat or at least fully owned by BlackRock.
It's really hard to ask about the role of those companies without going down the lizard man rabbit hole claiming they secretly control the world. The reality is a little bit less entertaining, but the immense scale that these companies have grown to means that if you want to be elected to the board of directors, you really only need their vote rather than the vote of the other shareholders. Now, these companies don't actually own the shares themselves. They own them in a trust on behalf of the actual investors who buy into their index funds. Some of these funds have even started introducing tools to allow their investors to vote on how the fund itself will vote. But the kind of set and forget investors that buy these index funds normally aren't that interested in submitting.
Here's a tip, you guys. Honestly though, Vanguard, there's a couple ones like Fidelity, Vanguard, whatever you want to do. Go start a Roth IRA, okay, and start dumping in like $100, $200, $300 in there a month, whatever you can afford. If it's more, afford more. I put $600 a month in. Do that. You're going to make more money in 20 years than you'd make basically in any other investment, unless you get extremely fortunate. So if I was to retire at 55 and I put about $600 every year into a Roth IRA, I would walk out of that Roth IRA a millionaire. Okay. It's super important. Just a, heads up.
Proxy votes for the hundreds of companies in these investment products, so the asset managers themselves have a lot of influence over shaping boardrooms, and by extension, the companies they oversee. The reason that there aren't as many directors that sit on dozens of boards at a time anymore is because both BlackRock and Vanguard introduced policies where they would vote against any director that already held 4 or more board seats in public companies. In a clear demonstration of just how much power these passive guidelines can have, there are no longer any S&P 500 directors that hold more than 4 board seats, although there are a lot that hold exactly 4. So, make of that what you will. Now, you might think this actually seems like a positive effect. It's limiting just how consolidated the Global Directors Club can get, but the problem is that you may not necessarily agree with the other ways that they use their massive votes. The voting guidelines for these companies are available online for anybody to read, but of course, most people never will. In these documents, there is heavy emphasis on diversity, inclusivity, representation, and environmental efforts in boardroom votes. Again, these might very well be great initiatives, but there it creates 2 problems. One is the internal regulatory efforts that are normally highly ineffective, and are often just used as a way for companies to claim that they can keep themselves accountable.
Yeah, I think like it's just a DEI in total is a concept is just a way for CEOs and corporate likes to literally, it's just corpos flaunting that they do something. It doesn't actually mean anything. I think people hold on to the thing so much, and it's like, dude, it means nothing. Like, it literally means nothing. It's just people making more money, and people want to hold their whole identity to it. I think it's hilarious.
No need for government authorities to perform real checks. The second problem it creates is that it's become really easy for well-connected corporate interests to stack boards with who they want based on ticking boxes, rather than electing someone genuinely looking out for shareholders. The consequences of boards that aren't as critical as they could be are things like record CEO pay, even if paying someone hundreds of millions of dollars isn't really in the best interest of investors. So if this job still sounds like a sweet gig for you, step 1 is to gather as many high-profile connections as you can. Step 2 is to get cozy with company leadership. Step 3 is to tick as many boxes on the Vanguard voting guidelines as possible, and step 4 is to still care enough. By the time you get this far, you have probably had a very long and successful career. And unless you are working in the government for most of that time, a few $100,000 a year isn't going to change much for you. So the real reason you would want a board seat is for the power and prestige, without the trade-offs of hanging out with the strange people that inhabit Congress. The stagnation of corporate boardrooms has also led to a lot of companies just following the latest investment trend, even if it makes absolutely no business sense. Making profits doesn't matter if the whole company can just be sold to a bigger company that wants it out of the way. Go and watch this video on how companies got so dumb to see how that's working out for them. And make sure to subscribe to keep on.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I understand really like what it just seems so built around a lot of other people making a copious amount of money. That's up to you. Let me change my title here. I want to go on the verge of something great. Okay. Okay, so there was this video that I wanted to watch, but I feel like it's just going to touch on something that we already talked about, which was sort of Mark Zuckerberg's rebrand, which like I don't feel like we need to really discuss, to be honest. So we won't. But what I will say is very interesting. What is Alex Eubanks posted? Oh man, I feel like we kind of have to watch this. I want to know what Alex Eubank has to say about why your chest won't grow. I mean, look, I'm not a savant, right? Like my Instagram is, or my YouTube is nowhere near what Alex's is. So kudos to him, and I could learn a lot from him. But 7.3K after 5 hours, I feel like that's really underperforming. Let's check out what is going on here, because the first comment, how to grow your chest, hop on test. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. Let's see what he's got to say. I'm actually very curious.
6.4 beta alanine, which is crazy. I'm probably gonna be so itchy. It's exactly like a sweetheart. Sweetheart? It's a sweetheart. Sweetheart? When we were walking in, it's so funny because like a lot of the people, I've been doing this for 5 years now, but a lot of the guys that are like older, the jacked up bodybuilders or whatnot, do like, I just know like blue collar, like, you know what I mean? Like they work hard. But I remember when me and Joey, my old filmer, used to go to like Gold's Gym, Exile, like go to all these different gyms and like film. It was so brand new back then. They'd be like, what the fuck are these kids doing? They would look at you like they wanted to kill you. Like sometimes they would even
That's so true though. That's, dude, any gym you go to with the camera, still the old heads there that are all juiced up and fucking high blood pressured retards, they're just literally like, they feel like they own the gym. They want to just murder you because you have a camera. It's like, I get the whole point of being annoyed with tripods because that shit gets stupid. But if you're like a homie that makes money, more money than, you know, any of those guys are making by far, by like multitude of like 800, and you're mad that he's recording, but he's also way more successful than you, wouldn't it just be like wise to go up to him and be like, hey man, what are you doing that I'm not? Instead of being like the prick who's like, what the get out of my, it's just the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like these old head, high blood pressure, no hair, have an ass. And sorry if that's some of you in here, but for real, it's just so drawn out and old. Like that mentality is over with, dude.
You come out to us and like get mad at us for filming, and it's just so funny. It's just so funny like coming back because like obviously it's worked out for me. I know a lot of you guys too like are probably second guess filming in public because you're so worried about other people's opinions. If I would have let like just their looks or whatnot define me and make me like afraid to pick up the camera, I would still be detailing cars at a Honda dealership. I haven't done one of these in a minute. I'm gonna be showing you guys what I do to grow a bigger chest. But the thing is, I made a lot of these videos, but I myself have changed a lot.
All right, I figured I would do a little bit of a voiceover instead of me just showing hardstyle music, because I actually want to add in some value to you guys. So, number one thing going into this, realize that there's no certain exercise that's going to get your chest bigger. Rather,
This is Alec Eubank, Josh.
it's going to be actually emphasizing your training intensity and recovery. If you are not sleeping 7-8 hours, you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, your diet is shit, you're not eating enough protein, you're not going to get bigger no matter how optimal your exercises are or your routine is. Get the basics done first. Drink your water, get your recovery, train hard with intensity, with correct form and correct biomechanics. That comes a lot with just getting more reps in and over time as you learn. But if you don't have that down, you should not be focusing on what training split is best, what exercises are best. That is the main thing. You can have the best selection of exercises and everything else, and if that stuff isn't dialed in, you are going to be missing out on more than half your gains, I would say. So
That's real. I mean, he's not wrong, man. That's very real. He's absolutely right. I think if you're not focusing on the basic shit, which many people don't, literally most people don't, it's pointless to argue semantics with someone.
So getting into the actual bread and butter, what I recommend. Favorite cigar right now, Padron. Great cigar. Great pull. Hand pressed, box pressed. Getting into it again.
I don't understand cigars, though. That's something I will never understand. I don't understand how you enjoy them. Every time I've smoked one, I've just found it to be unpleasant. Like it's so weird. I just have no enjoyment with it. I don't know.
I always will say prioritize incline movements. It is the best thing that you should probably do for your chest. I think that it's great because it also hits your front delt quite a bit, so it helps with that side chest pose, gets your front delt kind of built up as well, ties in with your upper chest. A lot of people have a lagging upper chest as well. I always start my pressing.
So interesting feature here. There is no upper and lower chest. I think most of you guys know this, though. You just have a chest. Like you have fibers that attach at different areas. Like you have fibers that attach to your clavicular head versus your sternocostal, like that. Yeah, like you have fibers that attach here and fibers that attach up here, but that doesn't mean they're not contracting when you're pressing in a different capacity. Like if I press down, I'm still contracting all the fibers. You could feel they're hard. They're still being shortened. If I'm pressing up, they're still hard as they are on the bottom too. They're still being shortened. So like the concept of you're trying to train your upper chest versus your lower chest, it's so indifferent. It doesn't make any sense to say that. What I would tell people, and also he's training at far too high of an incline here. You want to lower the incline significantly. What you want to do is just train your chest in the way that you feel it best. If that is doing a flat press, then do a flat press. If that's doing an incline press, then do an incline press, much lower than this, but an incline press. If it's doing a decline press, which is one of my preferred methods, do a decline press. But you're not going to grow a chest independently of, what you're not going to get your upper chest grown compared to your lower chest, I don't train my lower chest yet. I have like gorilla titties, it's like it's just a silly concept to me. I just don't understand the whole upper, because it's one muscle. Like it attaches the same, inserts at the same location and attaches at several locations, but it's going to be all flexed. Just a side tangent, but I think it's really important.
Pressing movement with some kind of incline movement, and then I usually do flat second. I like dumbbells over barbell primarily because you get equal load on each arm, prevents imbalances, as well as a little bit of better of a range of motion. Bars sometimes can stop the path you're hitting. I feel like it's just more natural when you do dumbbells. I think it's more superior. I think it's better for injury as well. Second movement, I like to do a plate loaded.
I would argue that dumbbells are better for grip because you can do more of a neutral, like half neutral grip. But I would also say that they're more risky for injury because there's no stability at all. You have to kick the dumbbell up and then push it up independently, where the bar is like you're pushing simultaneously. There's a lot more stability with moving both arms versus just one arm. But if you move one arm with, a top load on it, like my bench press for dumbbells is like 145 pounds. If I do that, my arm is, like I have to be very meticulous with how I get that weight up. I wouldn't say it's 100% as safe as or safer than a bench press.
flat press. The reason why I like plate loaded is because now, rather than have to focus on stabilizing the dumbbells or whatnot, here you can focus primarily on training heavy with intensity. You can incorporate different things in it, like drop sets, although I don't do them as much anymore. But I like these plate loaded ones because all you're focusing on is just stretching and squeezing your pecs. It's simple. There's nothing else to think about. There's two ways to grow your chest, either doing a fly variation or a pressing variation. Do not overcomplicate it. Don't do pullovers. I think are too old school. Just pressing or a fly. Always start with pressing movements because you're going to be able to recruit the most amount of muscle fibers. Mechanical tension and progressive overload is key when it comes to growing any bigger muscle group, especially a bigger body part like your chest. So again, plate loaded, I think is.
I mean, there's a lot of flaws in that statement, to be honest. So, but I do agree with him generally that a machine chest press variation is very good because any movement you can create more bracing, more stability. You have more control over firing that muscle in an isolated fashion, which means you're placing more mechanical tension onto that specific fiber that you're trying to train, or fibers. So in that case, yes. But in the case of starting with pressing, I don't think that's absolutely necessary because who said that you recruit more fibers via a chest press versus a chest fly? I don't think we even have data on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be very wrong, and someone please call me out if I am. But at the end of the day, I think that you basically can choose the things that you do best and stick with those.
I think is superior than some other movements. Like I wouldn't go do a dumbbell incline press and then go and do like a flat barbell. I think that's just like counterintuitive. I prefer plate loaded just because you get that extra support. You can comfortably train to failure without having to necessarily risk injury. In terms of rep ranges, I love the 6 to 8 rep range as of lately. I'm doing more of a higher frequency program, so I'm doing lower set counts, but I'm doing a more of a frequency.
Machines blew up my chest and legs. Free weights blew up my back and arms. And I would actually agree with you, man. I think free weights are a great way to blow up your arms because when you do, let's say like you do back training, with free weights, you're also training your biceps and your forearms. And you're getting a lot of extra load in there. And I think because your shoulders and generally your legs and your chest those are really susceptible to injury if you think about it. Like it's very easy to tear something in your shoulder or to fuck up your rotator cuff or to cause back problems or to fuck with your knee. So when you can have more stability with those movements, you are generally going to be safer. I think back is pretty hard to injure yourself on. At this point, it's whatever works for your body plus progressive overload. And I would actually say that is true. You know, I think that's a very good point, man. I think that's like the thing most people need to be concerned with is just training how you do best. As long as you're training really, 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 really hard and you're training with progressive overload, you're probably going to grow. The rest is just semantics that probably don't need to even be there. I think intuitive lifting is a dangerous way of lifting. Not all bro intuition is correct or even safe. I think bro intuition can be dangerous if you're on a copious amounts of androgens and your confidence is sky high. Yes. I would say that for my audience, generally, most of them probably know how to lift weights and can assume that the things they're doing are either stupid or smart. I would say that most the idiots who are absolute gearheads are maybe not so smart though. Like the guys who take gear and just train, they don't know how to train. That's a very large population size too.
Frequency approach. So training each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week rather than just once a week. So therefore I do a lower set volume. So I'll do 2 sets per part, 2 sets per exercise when I'm training here. And then I just do roughly around 6 to 8 reps, training really, really heavy, very, very intense. And I find that over the course of the week, when I hit the same body part 2-3 times a week, I get the same growth. Whereas if I was doing like 4 sets of 8 to 12. So I like training this way. It's more fun for me. I feel like you end up seeing more gains in progressive overload because you're training that in that lower rep range. So I tend to feel like you find yourself getting stronger faster that way. Last exercise, I'm getting ahead of myself, doing some sort of fly. This is a plate loaded fly. And then I did a cable fly after this.
People need to stop knocking off the machines. They can get the job done, period. Yeah. I favor machines, man. For one, honestly, for me, it's a setup thing. It's so much easier to get into the movement and get out of the movement. I don't have to load and unload all the plates. I don't have to move all this shit around. I don't have to find a bar. I don't have to, it's just like find the weight on the stack, pin it, and fucking push. It's like super simple. Whereas, you know, if I'm in a fucking crunch, dude, and I don't have time to kill, like, you bet your ass I'm not fucking stacking this 8-plate fucking leg press to do the shit I need to do. I'm going to go use the machine leg press. And even if it's too light, which most of the times it's not, because the mechanical leverage is actually pretty unfair, then I slow the rep ranges, or I slow the rep down. Like, I don't go crazy with it suicidally fast, you know? I think it's a really great way to train fast and correctly, because it basically, machines, what they also do is inhibit you from doing things wrong. Yeah, get in, yeah, go to first open machine and get it done. Yeah, that's what I think most people need to do. And it sucks because, you know, I build programs for people, but I tell people all the time, like, I think training is the least important thing that you can focus on. As long as you have the big picture items there, like we talked about, progressive overload, tension, and which tension implies proper form, you're good to go, man. Train 6 to 12 sets, somewhere between there for each muscle group. You're good to go. You know, the rest lies within manipulation of diet, manipulation of supplements, health, and obviously pharmacology. That's where the majority of your results will come through. The saying, you know, 80% of the physique you have is built in the kitchen is probably incorrect, because I would argue it's maybe even 90%. I mean, exercise choice and training.
There's really not a huge difference. I like the plate loaded fly or a pectic because, again, you get that stability aspect. When you do one of those like standing cable flies, which you see that I'll do, I still like them, although, again, you have to focus on bracing your core. You have to focus on a lot more than just your pecs. I like stuff that's super, super easy, and it's not going to have a
I really like this chest fly, though. It's like, I like how it goes down, because a lot of chest flies actually have your arms going up. This is much more natural in terms of like how your chest is supposed to truly function.
Easy fatigue ratio to the rest of your body. What is it? Stimulus to fatigue, whatever you call it. So I like doing stuff that's seated when I'm doing a fly. I like to end with flies now. Before, when I started, my philosophy's changed. I used to start with a fly. Now I end with it just to get a really good pump, get some blood in there. I used to do it for pre-exhausting, although I feel like that messes up my pressing movements, so I don't do it as much now. Yeah, and then I just finished off with a little bit of shoulders, which I know this is a chest video, so I'm not going to get into detail much on this, but I am training this is my new split I'm doing.
As my fitness coach told me at 16, bodybuilding and hormones are like soup and spoon. Yeah, it's so accurate, man. It's not a competition of who can lift the most. It's a competition of who can inject the most drugs.
A push-pull leg, upper lower. So it's a 5-day split. I take rest days whenever I feel like I need it, and then I just repeat the process. So push, pull, leg, upper body, lower body, repeat.
Am I the only one that can't work out when I leave my headphones at home? No, there's a lot of people like that, but I'm a psychopath. I don't work out with any headphones. I like the ambiance of the gym. I used to love wearing headphones, and then I graduated to like wearing my headphones but not playing things. And then I graduated into just not bringing them at all. It's very interesting.
Repeat. Push, pull, leg, upper body, lower body. So that's the split that I'm doing, taking a little bit away from both of the splits that I like. Sometimes I like having a little bit more of a higher volume day because you get a better pump. It's a little bit more fun at times. The upper lower is primarily just like lifting heavy and very, very intense. So that's what I've been doing lately.
I think Alex listens to my content, man. I won't even lie, because I talk about shit like this all the time, like training an upper lower, using intense low repetition kind of workouts. He's saying he trains 6 to 8 rep ranges. That's what I always say to train in. He's saying he trains heavy now. It's what I say to train with. Very interesting.
That's what I do to grow a bigger chest. Now we're going to run a little hard style montage just for the posing. Let's get into it.
Honest to God, Alex Eubanks' chest is unrealistically big. Like, it is so full, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't have separation down the middle because it's so full. I've never seen a human that's his size, yet has the size of his chest.
All right, y'all. Back at the Elysium Gym Warehouse. I've basically been living out of here. If you guys watched my millionaire video thing in my day in the life, I stay here till like 11 p.m. working on stuff. Part of it because the inner circle is doing so well, growing so much. So I want to show you guys what we're doing real quick. We are remodeling the entire bathroom here. We're probably gonna remodel this room that I do all my like videos in. I'm trying to make this place more of like where I live at. Also, we're going to be hosting all of our inner circle meetups here 2 to 3 times per month. If you want to get on that, DM me Brand on Instagram. I have the link for the website down below. You can look at testimonials, all that. But because we're going to have so much people coming in and out of here, we're building a whole entire new bathroom setup. So we're going to have 2 toilets in here, and I'm also rebuilding my own private like shower room. So I'll show you all real quick. So we've had one of our guys in here basically digging up jackhammering.
I know way too well what the fuck this looks like. I've been dealing with this shit for too long, man.
All day. So there's gonna be one stall here. It's all gonna be a crazy cool black aesthetic. One stall there. We're gonna have a crazy mirror with some insane downlighting. Full body mirror right here for cool content pictures. And this is gonna be my own private personal bathroom shower. So I'm gonna have a 6 shower there with one of those like overhead rainforest like shower heads that drop down from above you. Over here, this is where I sleep at basically. So we're going to I game here, I film videos here, and I sleep here. So the goal with this room is we're going to expand it out, knock this wall down, and extend it out a few more feet. So I have more room to probably end up putting like an actual legitimate bed in here. Although this couch is extremely comfortable. I sleep better than here on majority of beds. So I can have a dedicated workspace as well as a dedicated sleeping space. Yeah, so this is my like little haven here. I love it. The aesthetic in here at nighttime when I have like my certain lights, cube, all that stuff on, it looks insane.
I actually find that out. I find it to be dope. That'd be like a great place to work and concentrate because you're just in this fucking garage with nobody else.
But yeah, I've basically been living out of here ever since I've been back in Maryland. I've been so freaking dialed on everything. It's been a blast. This has been my like happy place. Not happy place. It's like sounds like I'm addicted to it. I feel like an old head. I just enjoy smoking a cigar after a long day of work. It's my like little.
Do you guys know where is Maryland in New York? Maryland, New York. Is that where he is? I'll look it up. Where does? Because it doesn't look like it's cold. So you moved to Charlotte, South Carolina. Then he moved to Florida. Said he bought his dream house. Then he moved to Nashville. Where's Maryland? Oh, the state. It's not a city. He lives in Maryland, the state? Isn't that way north? Yeah, what the hell? Who the fuck is living there, man? Wow. Screw that. But I do bet the property's cheap. Who the fuck lives? I've never been to Maryland. Have you guys been to Maryland? Let's see if he subscribes to me. I don't think he doesn't publicly share his subscribers, which sucks. I would love to see that. I'll show you guys. I don't know if this is like a conflict of interest, but I'll show you guys who subscribes to me. Johnny Shreve, Jordy Dix. Jordy Dix subscribes to me. Brandon Harding's ex-girlfriend. I think that's so funny, to be honest. Sorry if you're watching this, Brandon Harding. Jamie, I don't know who this is. Jamie Kurtoff just looks like he posts old video montages. So now I got to 12K subscribers. Snake Man. Trenemy subscribes to me. Let's go. Very interesting. I know a couple other people that subscribe to me, but they have their subscribers private, so you can't see them. Oh, this is the last 90 days. Let's do lifetime. There we go. We got fuck me, I can never say his name correctly. GVS, I'm just going to start there. GVS, Love the guy. Think his content's great. One of the best influencers that I know. We got Hudson Henry Photography behind Jordy Dix. Y'all don't know who Jordy Dix is, do you? Yeah, she subscribes to me because we talked about her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back.
Remember this? We talked about her. All right. So she subscribes to me. Green Magic Gardening. What's this? He literally makes weed. We have a weed dealer that subscribes to me, gets lots of views. Wow. Huh. That's cool. We have Ink Body. I've seen this guy before. I've talked to him. He's got some pretty cool videos and he's jacked. Very cool videos. We DM on Instagram. He makes like commentary videos, like reaction videos based on other people's ink. His channel does pretty good. Who else do we got? I don't even know. Adelina and Oscar. This is like a family channel. Huh. Very interesting. Sample text. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting channels out here. Yanni Workout. German workout guy. This ain't German. This is Slavic. Huh. Very interesting. Nah. Jordy and I are cool. I wouldn't be like that. Jordy's actually a dope girl. She mad respect, she's actually built an empire, dude. Like y'all don't even understand, man. The woman has built an empire more than you or I could ever generate on just, I don't even know, man. It's crazy. It's actually insane. Chuds watches you. He's got a bodybuilding podcast with Riz Deckley. Oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of dope. Yeah. Jordy could really pump this content pretty hard, honestly, if she wanted to. What's a BTS shoot? Do you guys know? Oh, behind the scenes. Very interesting. Oh, here's your new boyfriend. Very interesting as well. Boss makes $1,000. I make $1. Time to steal the converter from the truck company. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Wait, who's this? Huh. Very peculiar. I wonder how much followers he's gained from actually dating her. A ton. Of course. Online coach, work with them. Let's see what his link tree says. Jot form application. She's got a type, dude. We thirst maxing tonight? You guys need to chill. Bouge Health and Fitness online coaching. Approximately how many liters of water do you consume? Are you able to follow a meal plan and diet? Are you able to follow a training plan? Do you have access to a gym? Jesus Christ, man. Who is taking the time to fill out all this shit? You should have a button, and if people want to sign up, they sign up. Why would you put someone through? I never understood why businesses do this. I think this is the dumbest tactic ever. If you want people to fucking hire you, put a button. Hire me. That's it. You know what happens when you go to my Instagram? Y'all ever check this shit out? You click the link in the bio. It has 2 links. Exclusive group Join VIP coaching. Click the join VIP coaching link. Look at this. Finally, claim free consultation. You literally book a call with me. There's no fucking form. There's no, like, what the fuck is this shit? This is the dumbest. I hate when people do stupid ass questionnaires. It's like, why, bro? You know you need the money. Like, the homie needs the money. He's going to take the fucking client. It's so stupid. He's asking the right questions. Is he, though? Is he really? Like, I don't know if those questions are actually going to be useful in building a program. Why not just get on a call and talk to the people? Or have an intake form sent to them instead of having them fill out an intake form before they even pay you any money. Because I also don't want people to know about my personal life if I'm not invested in working with them. Personally, I don't know. Yo, do you do your 10 milligrams of oxandrolone sublingually pre-workout, or do you take it orally? I take it orally. I usually do 1.5 to 1 hour before training. You can do sublingually. I just hate the taste. I can't tolerate caffeine, though. I literally can't even drink decaf coffee without getting the fucking crackhead energy. So I do no caffeine. It filters out the plebs. Okay, the plebs are what makes, like, this is still, it's so it's senseless. The plebs will pay you the most money most of the time and will have the best results. You just have to talk to them in the right way. And I think this is like the dumbest point ever. Like, oh, I'm a coach. I don't want to work with fucking lowlifes. Dude, your job is to make people great. What are you talking about? Take people's money and do the fucking job. Like, how are you supposed to be a business if you're like, well, I'm not going to take anybody unless you're not Lamborghini. You're not Porsche. You're not Bugatti. You can't choose your clientele like that. What the fuck do you mean? You're not rich. You aren't so special. You literally just fucking, like, it's so crazy to me. I don't know. Just build the people a program. It's not that hard. It means you filter out the people who aren't serious, who will just waste your time. Or they could just book a call with me and I'll talk to them for 5 minutes and figure it out. I think it's just so much more genuine, to be honest. SARM's clients. I don't know, you guys. I don't fucking know. I don't know. How much tren I got to take to bait plebs into hiring me? At least 100 milligrams. At least 100 milligrams. You know, to be honest with you guys, though, to be completely honest, when I have not been on any gear, bros. I've been on literally, like, I joke about it on my Instagram, taking Anavar and shit. I've not been on anything. I've been on 200 milligrams of testosterone and a GLP-1 agonist. That's it. For a long time now, for a really, really long time. And I've gotten more clients now than I've ever gotten before in my entire life. And, you know, part of that's due to YouTube, part of that's due to Instagram, whatever. Because, like, I have a lot of viral videos on Instagram, you know? Like, I post, like, every other video goes viral. Like, this one has 64K, 24K, 330K. You know, this one has 17.9K, 10K, 110K. So it's like 12K. So, like, a lot of it comes from there. But I don't think the physique matters as much as we once thought. I don't think so, man. I think you can, as long as you look fit, you could basically troll on the internet and be good to go. Right? Okay, Reddit, that's TRT. Basically TRT, yeah. It's trend replacement therapy. Get over it. So as Trenamite says, Trenamite #1 says Trenbolone is the healthiest steroid to take. That's what he says. I don't know if I believe him, but if he says it's got to be true, right? How did you decide on your tattoos? They look sick, by the way. Thanks, man. Literally, the process is I walk into a tattoo shop somewhere in the world that I found that has an artist that I really like, and I tell them to tattoo whatever they want on my body. I've not picked a single one of my tattoos outside of this heart or this flower. But outside of that, I haven't picked any of my tattoos. Not a single one. I've just told the artists to do whatever they want. So like I find the artist because I like their artwork, and then I go to them to have them put their artwork on my body. I don't find an artist that I like their artwork and then tell them what artwork I want them to put on my body. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just sort of counterintuitive. So I let them tell me what they're going to put on my body, and I say, that looks great, let's do it. I've never not said that looks great, actually. So that's that. I slammed the Tesla, guys, by the way. I actually lowered the Tesla, which I'm super ecstatic about. I love it. But yeah, Jordy Dix subscribes to me. That's crazy, eh? Yo, I just realized she still has Brandon Harding in her channel art. Y'all see that? I'm not the only one, right? How do I zoom in here? Y'all see that? Jordy, Brandon's still in your art. You got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that. You got a new man's now. Thanks, bro. You're handsome too. What do you think of moving to Thailand but to hotels only? I think that's stupid. A house is so inexpensive, you could live there for almost next to nothing. Almost next to nothing. What are people posting these days? Man, I follow a bunch of weirdos. What is Greg Doucette posting? Fuck. I was going to make that video today and I didn't do it. And now he already posted about it. Johnny Shreve subscribes to me. He's very cool too. I really appreciate that, man. He's a really dope dude. Wait, who? Wait, whoa. Back up. Who's injecting opioids at the gym? Have you thought more about where you're moving next? Yeah. It depends on how quickly I can rent out this house. I've only had one showing. I just listed it like 2 days ago, so it's not really that surprising, but I've only had like one showing 2 or 3 days ago. Once, depending on when that happens, I am probably gonna go back to Thailand. However, my main concern is that the air quality there right now is not so great. So because China is basically polluting the air so bad that it's going downstream to Thailand, and the air quality is extremely bad right now. It's so bad you can't even see the ocean from the land, which is like nuts. So that's a big concern for me. Depending on that and some other just technical details, really, at the end of the day, I'm either going to move there or not. And if I don't, I'm going to find another state here to move and buy a house in, because that's what I like to do. 33 minutes and 58 seconds.
Times we're in the 20s. So that's fine. My kidney markers are at the low end of normal. It's somewhere in the middle there. But I would say that is one that I would add in. And it's also one of the top problems that bodybuilders have long term. A lot of guys, it's usually cardiovascular risk and kidney disease are the two things that end up getting bodybuilders long run. Guys that abuse PEDs. All right, next question I got here is from my buddy, Joshua Kevin Perry, who's also my favorite troll on the internet. Joshua is...
Hey, Joshua. You get called out, bro. The biggest troll on the internet. Man, it's good. It's crazy to see how much people actually love Paul's content. I don't even get that much love. My most recent video is garbage. Only 1.1K. They do okay, I guess. We're getting there. If you're living in poor quality area, you are going to feel very tired all the time and drained. Yeah. No, dude, that's such a geez, dude, that's so true. And that's kind of the problem I'm experiencing here is like the house is nice, the area is poor quality. So I don't feel happy. I feel sad. I take care of my shit, but everyone else around me has like garbage ass houses that they don't take care of, or shitty cars and dead trees in their shit. And it's just like, dude, like it's such a weird feeling when you're around people who don't really try. But when I lived in Dallas, I lived in like this really uppity neighborhood, sort of near like a place called Deerwood. And it's really nice. You know, everyone takes care of their shit. People are driving Ferraris, there's Bugattis, there's fucking like, you know, all that nice shit out there. And when you're living around there, you feel really good about shit because it's like everything's clean, everything's nice. You get motivated. Move to rural Georgia. I don't like Georgia, man. I don't like Georgia. It's a weird temperature / humidity mixture there that I'm just not a fan of. Plus, I went to most of my military training there, so just bad memories, to be honest. Some bad, some good. Oh, really important question while I got you guys here. Which style of thumbnail do you think is most clickable, in your opinion? Because I've tried so many different styles of thumbnails. So like we have like the pretty basic point at the guy and say like something that they might have said, like the John Walker one that did really well. Arrow points at him and says, "I'm not okay." It's very simple text. Or do you like the style we did for this dude, the Insane Cycle, where it's just big letters, a black background, like pretty simple, nothing too crazy? Or do you like my face in it? My face in it seems to always do pretty well. Or do you like this old style where it's yellow letters, white letters, and red? I'm curious what you guys think. They all look big and scary, but I'm just a caveman. Okay. Don't want to swam noise, but how come not seeing our Anthony? I'm sorry, but the fucking whatever you just said, I can't understand it completely. There's something about a girlfriend in Thailand, but you spelt Thailand like Thai, like a literally like a Thai and then land. We're gonna need some better language than that, brother. I think your latest thumbnails are better than the old ones. I like the ones with your face in it. Maybe I should do videos like that, best ass model. So you guys like the newer ones where my face is kind of in it? That's more appealing in your sense? Keep the same thumbnail. It really stands out. Looks more professional. I haven't paid much attention to which videos I tend to click on, but the ones with the thumbnails possibly goes into... Mainly looking at the title, so not best example. Interesting. Middle row, one of the alpha. Okay. Very interesting, you guys. So kind of all over the place, to be honest. Wait, the middle row, far right one. Alpha male one. Middle row, far right. Are we talking about this dude? I would watch at least 3 minutes of that. Bro, that's all you need. A 3-minute watch time is, at least for me, it's like $1.50 made. Just kidding. That's not true. It's like I think I can show you guys. Yeah, this one. Okay, good. The new ones with big letters in your face. Big letters give you 2 titles as it's seen. It's true. Graphics look good. Okay. So I've been split testing all of the titles so you guys can just see what kind of goes on. Keep the new thumbnails in the new font letters too. I think the new thumbnails are really pro. That's good to know. I'll keep that up. Just to show you guys in the back, seems like most people like the newer thumbnails, but in the background, just to show you what goes on, so with all my content, I post 2 thumbnails. So basically what I can do is like post 2 separate or 3 separate thumbnails and then split test which one works better. And so I've been doing that. And the reason that I've been including my face in all the thumbnails, or most of them, is because it seems that those, like you can see here, they get more watch time when they're showed differently to different people. So it's very interesting to me that somehow my face, which is just a generic ass face, seems to get more clicks than not, even on this one. Oh, never mind. On this one, it was this morning. It was that this one was winning, but now this one's winning. So it's a bit hard to say. Keep the new thumbnails in the front. Yeah. It's very interesting. You want also show you something else. We'll show you earn. I don't really care about not showing you this stuff. I think like a lot of creators are scared to show how much they make. Where do I even see this? I'm not very scared to show you that, to be honest. Revenue, estimated revenue. So this month I've made $642. Revenue, $642. We could go to last 90 days. Last 90 days, I've made $3,252. So RPMs, basically the price I get paid, revs per minute, like how much I get paid per minute of video. Where can I see? That's because you're very handsome and people are driven to see handsome face. I don't blame them. I don't think so, man. I wish they would explain these metrics more, because I would like to explain them to you. One of these is how much I get paid per ad viewed, or something like that. There's a way to find that out. Damn, this one had a crazy. Jesus, man. YouTube really milks some of my lives. That's nuts. Sorry, man, kept spelling it correctly, but just what? No, tell me what you wanted to say, bro. I'll answer your question and just spell it right, because I genuinely don't know what I don't know what you mean by that. I like kind of lost. Let's see what I made in the last 365 days. I've made a total of $8,800 from YouTube. How about that? How about that? So basically every 1,000 1,000 view 100,000 views, I make about over $500. So if I made a video every day that got 100,000 views, I'd make $500 a day. Pretty great. Pretty great. I have watched the video on Try to Me. Yeah, it was a very good video. I just haven't reacted to it or anything because, I mean, he was generally a very good guy. He's a very good guy. I have nothing to say. Like, I agree with everything he said, basically. Some of us just look who we want to hear regardless of the subject. So the pic of the face anywhere just tells us that's very interesting. Like Todd's videos, I see his pic. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I just think that most people, when we look at audience, unique viewers as people who've never actually seen me before, the majority of my viewers are unique viewers, 60, basically doubling what my returning viewers are. So it's interesting to me that people still click on my face compared to other faces, I guess. It's very interesting. I honestly, guys, it's sad to say too, but it's like, man, my like alpha male hate videos, it's crazy how much return on investment I get. Like I get to just get over hundreds of thousands of views on those videos. The people who watch them come back to my channel and watch more. And they're so much better they perform so much better than any other video I make at all. Like, it's crazy. Like, my bottom performing videos are all like the bodybuilding videos or fitness videos. My worst performing average video, these are the lives. And then beyond that, it's Shizzy, my vlog, Gordon Ryan. I mean, it's kind of sad, man. Like, this is what I mean when people got really mad at me for saying, like, for talking about this shit, talking about Wes Watson and all this. And it's like, man, it's pretty hard not to when YouTube is giving you this feedback and paying you for it, man. It's like, it's kind of hard not to look at this kind of stuff and be like, well, I should post more about Wes Watson, apparently, or I should post more about alpha males. You really could break down glute training? I think I could. It'd be a good video. It'd be interesting. I don't know. This stuff is so complicated, you guys, because it's like everyone wants to tell you their opinion on how you should run your channel, including YouTube, which YouTube will nearly chokehold you into how you should run your channel. But it's like, you don't know what's right. I even went as far as hiring a YouTube consultant that was expensive as fuck just to tell me what to do. And it's like, I didn't get anything from it. It was like, okay, great. So this is, it's typical shit. Expose the frauds, compliment the good ones. Natty your knots on butts. I'm not subscribed to any other fitness influencers. I watch Coke Greg sometimes because he knows what he's talking about. But when he tries to talk about his products in the middle of the videos, it kind of gets me. Yeah, that shit is annoying. He does that way too much. I almost think it's better not to talk about them and let people find the links themselves. Like, if you make genuinely good stuff, people will pretty much find the links themselves and look at what you got going on. Like, if you see a really good video, chances are you're going to subscribe to that video, and because it was a good video, versus someone telling you to subscribe. I haven't not seen an ad for 10 years. Sorry, I still watch. That's okay. I don't really need the money from this channel at all. It just literally every dime I've made. I talked about it on last live. I've spent $17,000 on YouTube. So every dime and then some that I've made has gone directly back into making YouTube content. It's crazy. But it's just like, man, I really, YouTube wants me to produce more of the alpha male content. Coach, I have a video for you. Will Blunderfield. He makes Mr. Belmar seem normal. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go, boys. What is this? Blunderfield, man. What a name. Blunderfield. Oh no. What is this? Is like the biggest forehead I've ever seen on any human being before. Oh my god. What is going on here?
Interesting experience yesterday. I was chilling with my bros.
Oh my god. Oh, dude. I'm going to use this for my sleeping sounds. God. Oh my god. Stay plump, don't pump. Dude, this one is crazy. Escape through gooning. That's so funny, dude. Oh, dude, this is crazy.
Fuck do you mean I'm gay? I don't get this entire like normie culture where if you talk about dick, you're gay. You whip your dick out, you're gay. You touch your boy's dick, you're gay. You suck your boy's dick, you're gay. The fuck? I could sit on...
No shot this guy's straight.
So we have energy budget, and I was up at 1 a.m. I was really excited to get up for this beautiful experience of whale watching bright and early. And, then I live way up on a freaking hill. I'm about half an hour from Zipolite. We had a beautiful day. I worked out. I did all the things. And then I met some epic dudes, and we watched a sunset. And, I was feeling pressure to stay longer. And I knew that if I did not get some food in my belly after that super long day, that it could get dangerous. We were on a cliff, and I thought, ooh, this is my last day.
This guy is very, very odd. You're telling me he has a school group? What the fuck is this guy? Dude. This has to be a troll. Viking. What the fuck is Viking hummus butt pomade ritual? Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I have to... The stream is dying. Hold on. That's fun. Let me check. Okay. Currently no data. All right, here we go. I'm going to open this just to see what's going on. I have no idea. It's just a Podia account, which is the website that I host my stuff with. The title is Exploring the Back Door. Images are loading. Hold on, I gotta be careful here. I don't want it costs $100 and has 6 lessons. Uh-oh. I'm glad I didn't put this up yet. Yep, I can't show this. It is not a joke, you guys. It is not a joke. It is not a joke. It is not a joke. Oh, it is not a joke. So basically what this is, dude, this is the craziest link in the bio I've ever seen. Only place. End of COVID. Your bro's taking a leak and a... I'm not gay, but $40 is $40. Dude. Oh my God. Free ball breathing video guide. Manhood Academy. I'm too afraid to open. After what I just saw, I'm too afraid to open up any of these. This shit's so funny, dude. Pre-save the new single. He has a song, bro. This man has a song. Okay. Who found this? Joshua, you found this guy? What have you been doing on the internet? I want to know that. I need to know what you have spent your time doing on the internet to find this man. You don't just stumble upon a human like this. Thanks for letting me borrow your Bugatti yesterday. Yeah, bro. Just let me know anytime you want to borrow it again. It's all yours, man. No stress. I got 8 more, so it's fine. Joshua, if you found this man in organic search mechanisms, I'm concerned about your health. Who found this guy? Who found this guy? James Foster, you found this guy. Who? How did James? I know for a matter of fact you didn't pick this up off somebody else. What? The fuck? Oh my God. Man. This is some other shit, you guys.
You know, you were talking about how your pussy got blown out.
Yes, let's talk about my pussy.
And I just love talk because I focus on men's work, but a lot of people online are like, can you talk more about the women's lineages?
I mean, I like that.
Right? So we can touch on that. This is what we call the jade egg.
Okay.
And when you said your pussy had blown out from the big heads of your sons.
Look at this noodle right here.
Right? It's genetic.
Yeah.
So what you can do, and I'm glad, by the way, that you didn't have a C-section because that means your son's got a nice gulp of your pussy bacteria.
Yeah.
Which means that their balls will develop better.
I think their balls have developed nicely.
Nice.
And I ate a lot of red meat when I was pregnant with both of them. And I encourage that masculine behaviors.
Yes.
I encourage them to do things.
What does the jade egg do?
Well, first I want to quickly say the pussy bacteria, there's a specific strain they found called L. reuteri. L.reuteri.
Man, this guy's something. This guy is something, man. No, he's not wrong about bacteria. That's what's fucked up. He even quoted the right strain of bacteria. That's what's fucked up about this, man. I don't know, dude. This is some weird shit. If I make a video on him, there's a high probability that the video gets taken down. A high probability. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. You know, why not? I'll put it on the docket for later. I got so much I need to do already, so why not? I'll just keep putting her on there. Video about weird butt guy. Can I not copy and paste, brother? Why isn't it letting me copy and paste? There we go. All right. Mud Tits video. That's who did it. I've never heard of that channel. Mud Pits. I didn't even know this guy was a channel. Thanks for letting me know. I need to follow more people that post content like me. It's crazy. Like, since I started posting, the amount of people who start posting exactly like me kind of disturbs me. Like, they use the same thumbnail things as I do. It's very interesting. But it's what it is. We adapt. I'm not mad at the player. I have to be better at the game. That's all it is. No. Joshua, I'm not trusting anything you say. Can I talk more about the weird, fat, and muscular dude from the last video? Like, make a follow-up video on him? I sure can do that. I don't even know what his name is, bro. I forgot. Gentile Lifts. That's the motherfucker.
Get in the gym! Her legs ain't gonna be shaking this Valentine's! Look what I found at the bottom. Get your witch and get rich! $35 for this stupid bear, or 35 grams of protein to get jacked. Pick one. Get in the gym!
This guy is so obese. Iced Tea Guts video. I don't know which video you're talking about. Yeah, pretty accurate. That was good. The guts theme is like peak, so it made it for me.
Protein milk cake! Let's make it! Big scoop of protein for the breasts. Threw in some flour for fun. Poured in some cocoa powder. Some baking powder for the biddies. And the milk we made last night. Took a picture of my egg to see how much protein was in it. I played with my eggs a little bit. Cracked them in with the milk. Mixed it up. And then I combined it with the dry ingredients. Shoved it in the microwave.
Look how thick it came out. Oh, I'm gonna try it.
Is it good or not?
It good.
Sure?
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Very interesting character, man. I wish he would respond to the video, because it would be like so much easier to talk more shit if he responded to it. That's how this stuff works anyways. Thanks, bro. I hope they look that good. All right, guys. Well, it's about 9 o'clock here. I'm going to shut down and go to bed for the night, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you need me, hit me up in the comments. Join the Discord group. There's a free section, so you don't have to pay if you want to talk directly to me, but we do encourage paying because it supports this channel directly. Also, if you want more information on coaching, just hit me up on Instagram. Not really a big deal there. Like you just saw, we'll get on calls with everybody. So I'll talk to you later, homies. Thank you so much for being on tonight. I appreciate every single one of you, even if you hate me and my content. I still love you for being here. It means the world to me that I get to talk to some awesome people every night, and we get such a great group of kids in here, dude. It's fucking great. So I appreciate y'all. Be safe. Don't die.